So welcome back for game 12. This is between Zimbabwe and United States. This is in the over 45 section, the Pool B clash between these two teams. Zimbabwe come off a loss in their very first game versus South Africa, where they lost 7-0. United States get the proceedings underway. We've just had a pulsating game between South Africa and England in this very same pool. 1-1 it ended. A real crowd pleaser. And some of the crowd have stayed in, obviously, to watch this match. United States with the ball at present, playing from left to right in their familiar red outfit. Zimbabwe in white. United States go long, looking for the high-lying striker. Can't find it. Zimbabwe play through Rambai. Another long hit from Zimbabwe. So both sides with intent to find those high-lying strikers. Goes out to number 12, Armas from United States. So the tempo of this game quite slow, but a good interception from Zimbabwe. Starts off in quite a slow, measured fashion. So Cross gets the ball down the line into the far-hand right-hand side corner for Zimbabwe. Trying to probe, get themselves a corner at this stage. Brown on the ball now for Zimbabwe. To Ramabai. Brown again plays it in, trying to find a corner, well defended by the United States. Number 7 and captain Sean Hindi marshalling things from the back four. Ball gets played out wide. Little speculative pass there. Quite a dangerous pass to play a little deflection in your own defensive third. But United States come away with it, and they go with a beautiful aerial down the line. And well stolen by the United States number 9, Fleck. And he gets the cross in. Keeper comes out of his box and is exposed somehow. But Zimbabwe weather the storm. Won again by the United States of America. Fleck gets the ball in, tries to find his strike partner up front. And here comes Zimbabwe as they work the ball nicely down the right-hand side and come out strongly through Ramabai, who's been quite instrumental in all things at this stage of the game. Influential in the midfield and coming out of defense quite strongly, looking to link. Brown down the outside, and he has a hit on the far right-hand side for Zimbabwe. Looks to play Ramabai. And wins themselves a corner. So Zimbabwe have their first corner of the match. Work down the right-hand side. Played into the circle. And they induce the error from the United States of America. So interesting. One castle, one very wide right runner. Quite unorthodox by modern hockey standards. So the ball goes to a free hit, and it's smashed, but too high. So it was played to the decoy Evans, who took it upon himself to strike. Ball was deemed to be high and dangerous. So, Bodini is on the ball, plays it back to his skipper. He plays it nicely into the midfield, looking for Fleck with a little deflection. Fleck, the rangy runner for USA up front. Zimbabwe with the 16-yard. Play that is live. Into the midfield and look to play out wide again. And then look to carry it down the right-hand side here. United States just happy to hang off and choose the areas when to flood areas and congest and win ball. So Zimbabwe down the left-hand side, changes the angle very nicely, plays it into the midfield. Nicely played by Zimbabwe. You just feel that if Zimbabwe could just, from those areas, exploit width rather than play it into the congested areas, it would be better. So the smash comes in from Rambabai. Ball's lifted. USA regroup. 11 minutes left in this first quarter. So looking to connect, gets to Riaz, out wide. Riaz goes high to Fleck. Fleck looks to deflect rather than hold the ball up. Probably would have been better for him. He was in space. He could collect that ball, turn, and then look to play out wide to number 4, Sabai. But he looks to deflect for one time. So there was space on the outside that the USA could exploit. And just imagine they should be holding the ball up for longer periods from up front. Buckingham plays it in. And Armas just loses it. And there was an infringement higher up the field. So the umpire just asked them to move the ball up higher. And Zimbabwe have the ball now. And it's a testing ball for Zimbabwe there. Brown trying to get on the edge of it, dives. If he'd collected it, would have been in a really good position for Zimbabwe to attack, find a corner. So Hindi plays the ball out into the midfield. Armas wins the ball. Looks to get proceedings underway quickly. Little reverse stick, which is good. And USA building up some possession now. Bodini on the ball now to Riaz. Riaz looking for that far post runner. Tries to hold it. Played down the line. Onto the byline. And a little pass finds a Zimbabwean player. Zimbabwe look to come out of there. There's a bit of a wild swing there, and USA have the ball on the 23-meter line. So Riaz plays it again down to the byline. Flick holds it up. She's much better. Now they keep the possession. Bodini on the ball. Armas. Zimbabwe winning possession now. Adam on the ball at the moment. And now Zimbabwe come away through the midfield and look to go find their high-lying striker, Evans. Again, the smash comes into the circle. And is well dealt with by the captain, Hindi, who's upended by the Zimbabwean striker who slides in. And I'd imagine he could get a card for that because that is reckless. Absolutely reckless on the defender. Umpire has a word. But sliding in like that could be incredibly dangerous for any player, and so he gets away with it. The last game against England, South Africa, we saw plenty of cards being dished out. Zimbabwe go direct, have a chance, hits the post. Evans gets the touch, eludes the keeper, finds the post. That could have been first blood to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe getting very direct, going down the middle of the field. Great opportunity there. But it's still 0-0. 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. So Hodza is coming to the game quite nicely as the first quarter has progressed here. Coming through the middle, gets the ball again, Hodza. He will look now to find his high-line strikers, gets his eyes up, gets it into the circle, looking for the corner now. They don't win it. Plenty of red shirts in the top of the D. We think that Zimbabwe would like to bring the ball out, use the width, maybe go around and find the byline. They've had a few inroads through the middle. Only one has resulted in a shot in at goal. Otherwise, plenty of a congested area for United States, who have defended quite manfully. So Brown does well, wins the hit for Zimbabwe. He will look to play Makakoto to Hodza. And that's quite good deception, body deception there from Zimbabwe. As they look to build again, Hodza, just an unforced error from him. Brown's been good down the right-hand side. Hodza's been good in the midfield. Labana on the ball now. Still keeps possession for the United States. Hits it down the line. So it's lost up front. Golding loses it for United States, and Zimbabwe look to build again. So ball retention is just so important in this game. Keeping the ball for long periods. Both sides are struggling to do. Hold possession, play it on the stick, and use the width. So the aerial route comes up, nicely taken for United States. United States now drive into the circle, looking to set up the tomahawk, but he goes onto the front stick, but loses it, unfortunately. Still, there was an infringement in the circle, so Zimbabwe play from out from defensive areas, and a lovely little dink through the midfield. But well coped with by the United States of America. Flood those numbers into the middle areas of the field. And here we have our first green card. Just a little bit of over-robust play. And there's a numerical advantage for the USA. Can they exploit it? 2 minutes. The Bana wanting the ball out left, but they decide to go down the right-hand side. Hindi just probing. We'll move down the right-hand side, and we're looking now to play the aerial delivery high, and he finds his man. And that's the second time they've played that aerial, and it's been quite effective for the United States. Quick hit, driving into the circle, looking for corners. Beautifully defended by Zimbabwe. Good flat stick from Hamish, Michael Hamish. Flat stick tackle, drives through the player as he wins the ball. United States backing off into a three-quarter press. And they've won the ball nicely. Golding looks to connect. There's space on the outside. They go direct, trying to find Golding again, who had got himself into a really nice position in the D. Good play by Zimbabwe. And it's Evans. Drives into the circle. The clash of a stick. And he wins the corner. Wow. I actually don't know if there was an actual tackle on him. But there was a couple of clashes of sticks, and the umpire decides to give a corner. He was almost conned into that. So, short corner time for Zimbabwe. Last time they went for the real unconventional stop at the top. A rugby dummy and a shot at goal, but it didn't work out for them. They do exactly the same thing again, but they go back to the injector. They find him, but it comes off his stick and into his body. Good idea there to go back to the injector. There was actually open space down there. And Rodriguez has been quite prominent in this game of late now, finding space, getting ball. Rodriguez picks up the ball. He's full of running, wants to go forward with the ball. Sequin on the ball now. Again to Rodriguez. Rodriguez turns. Ramabai, who's been good in this first half. Well won by Zimbabwe. Labana on the ball now. Smashes it into there, top of the D. Turn. Strike. United States were in there. All it needed is a first touch and maybe a reverse stick nudge over the keeper. And they were in the money. Some good play there. They're finding a strikers in the top of the D, and that's the end of the first quarter. So at the end of the first quarter, it's 0-0. You would imagine that Zimbabwe have had the better of the chances. But it's a pretty even contest at this stage. Join us after the break for the second quarter of this game between Zimbabwe and the USA. Brown just moves it down into the right-hand side, loses it and goes over the sideline. Riaz. Bit of intent from both sides now to just up the tempo in the second quarter and to actually get their ball pace up. Ball pace been pretty slow in the first quarter. You want your side to keep the ball for longer periods and get that ball pace moving. And that's much better from Zimbabwe. Great play from the left-hand side, but fired in again. Maybe too direct at this stage. As I've said before, United States have plenty of players in that midfield area or the mid-defensive area. And every time Zimbabwe get the ball into really good areas, they play those 45-degree balls straight into that back four. I'd like to see them manipulate the ball a little bit longer. Get into those wide areas, find the corner, gain, there we go. Trying to go more direct, find their number 11 up front, Scott Elliott, Simon Scott Elliott. United States have been pulling aerial balls, try and get in behind the midfield of Zimbabwe. They pin back deep in their own half on the byline. And it's well intercepted by Zimbabwe. You come up the left. They look to draw them out, which is good. No one in the midfield now for that square ball. So again, he has to play that 45-degree ball. Zimbabwe needs someone to just drop out of that line and be that switch ball for them. So, better hold-up play from the United States. Riaz goes long. Execution not good enough. Brown still with the ball, and wins the hit. Umpire says there's an unfair advantage gained there, so he has to move the ball back. So the ball there from Gary Cross, just can't find Brown. USA again playing deep. Zimbabwe looking to press a little higher now. Good ball down the line. Bit bobbly, but lovely skills. Aramas plays it into the midfield. Mabai on the ball now. Out to Bodini, who finds his high-lying striker, but the first touch is not good enough. Ramabai comes out of there. Finds Carlisle. Carlisle looks high. Gets the foot. Good play. Good play between Vinay Ramabai, who want to get, and Vinert, who want to get the ball going quickly. Umpire says, put it on the right spot. Ramabai now plays it in. Looking for Brown. Brown instrumental. And a short corner awarded to Zimbabwe. Umpire's not happy the players were retreating 5 meters. Plenty of chatter out there. So it looks like Zimbabwe don't have a drag flicker. So they've been playing to a conventional stick stop and move it from there. They look like they have a couple of guys lining up to hit. And maybe number 4, Evans, is going to give a drag flicker a go here. Stop. He peels around. The big hit comes in from Carlisle. He doesn't strike well, and it's a reward. So Carlisle had enough space there to smash that one, but he just topped it. He looks like the kind of guy that could probably hit it pretty hard. So Brown on the stop. It goes through. That means they can hit the ball anywhere and any height, as it's gone 5 meters outside the D. Gets a little deflection. Keeper does well. It's dinked back in, and United States can break out now. That's going to be a card. Deliberately kicking the ball away. You got to be subtle in those situations. That was a blatant grubber kick into touch. So, Khalid Adam has come onto the field for Zimbabwe now. Bodini on the ball. Riaz back to his captain, Hindi. Zimbabwe can pushing up a little higher up the field. Hindi has been pinned back quite a lot. He goes big. Big hit from Hindi and a good hit from him. Lovely turn. Finds the striker up high. Keeper's out. He's manipulated him. Good hit. Well done by Zimbabwe's keeper, Bloodworth. And it looks like there's going to be a card as well. For a deliberate infringement, just a green card for the United States. So good play from the USA, finding those strikers. Keeper did well. Bloodworth got out and closed down any angles that the striker would have had. Bodini goes through the middle, looks for support, finds it. Far post, touch. Oh, that was nicely played and nicely defended by Zimbabwe. All that needed was a stronger touch by the United States, and that would have been goal number 1. Still, we locked it 0-0 with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Chris Napper up front for USA has been working well, getting himself into some good spaces there. Ball played out nicely into the D again. And a little touch outside the area, the umpire says. It did look like it could have been possibly inside the D and a possible corner. But he says it actually happened just over the 23-minute line. So USA again on the attack, but the ball hadn't gone 5 meters before being played in. Zimbabwe come out, try play the 45-degree into the midfield. Always a dangerous ball. If that midfield is congested, there's an injury for United States. So playing that 45-degree ball from outside left half into that midfield, if it is congested, is difficult because the counter-attack is always on and basically straight at goal. So the USA probe again. Zimbabwe breathe again. In it goes. Hodza wins the hit. Looks to drive again. He was instrumental in the early phases of the first quarter. Hodza with his midfield presence and his ability to find passes. Brown looks to get up higher up the field. Hodza looks for Brown, who's probably one of their better players. So Golding up to Fleck. Zimbabwe break out now. Down the line, they find the high striker, well picked up. Down to the baseline. Well, I think that's a poor decision. A penalty stroke for Zimbabwe, but I think that is a poor decision. You would find the Zimbabwe number 4, Evans, actually runs into the keeper rather than the keeper upending the striker, Evans. Well, his co-umpire says it's a great decision. But that is a poor decision, and now it's a penalty stroke for Zimbabwe. And they score. Zimbabwe are 1-0 up. The keeper stood his ground. The player was going around him, but the striker ran into the keeper. Not the other way around. But penalty stroke stands. The goal stands. Zimbabwe are 1-0 up. So 7 minutes left in the second quarter. Zimbabwe 1-0 up now. Good little touch by Bordini. Finds his striker. Held up much better by the strikers up front by the USA, and they still win the hit. Sorry, Zimbabwe win the hit there. Brown. Just the mistrap from Brown. Labana plays it back. They'll build through Hindi. Hindi with a good pass. Finds the midfielder. Silky skills, but just plays it back, which is better. Keep possession at this stage. USA want to build back, fight, get back into this game. The ball goes up high to Fleck, who doesn't gather. A tall man and quite upright in the way he receives the ball, which is often difficult when the ball's been fired at you. As I said earlier, maybe it's his role to use his long levers, get into good areas and hold the ball up for the United States and play to the midfield and then attack down the outside. They've got Golding, they've got Rodriguez. USA have employed the aerial ball quite a bit when they're thinking about it, but so that's an unforced error, and it strikes one of the Zimbabwean players, midriff, but he's up again. Zimbabwe ringing the changes now, getting some fresh blood on as they're going to the final 5 minutes of this quarter. Hodza on the ball. He's composed, as always. Eyes come up nicely, and a little pass for Brown. Brown gets upended. Hodza looking for that little probing ball in behind the midfielders, and he does well with a little deceptive hit. Looks right, plays it under the arm. But USA equal to the task. Physicality in this game. Buckingham gets the ball going to his captain, Hindi. And Bumrah is unable to control the ball out wide. USA dropping very deep now. Good play by Carlisle, who comes back into the space, plays it into his midfielder now. Zimbabwe very happy to see out this quarter. Just holding possession. The unforced error comes. USA will try to play a little bit quicker now. They've dropped very deep in this game and they're 1-0 down. Good tackle. Point of attack is changed and lovely movement to play down the right-hand side. Manyama, the captain of Zimbabwe, getting into good space down the right side, playing the ball down the line. Ball's fired in. Hit outside this circle for Zimbabwe. They look to play 5 and then work their way into the D. Another shot is fired, looking for the far post. The USA win the hit. Played into the midfield, and it's good work rate by Zimbabwe as they flood that area, put lots of pressure on that midfield. There are 3 or 4 players in that area, forcing USA back every time. So, Fleck on the ball. There's width for the USA. And now they look to get it into the circle. There's a little foot, and they can sustain some pressure here in the final stages of this second quarter. Maybe win themselves a corner, get themselves back into this game. Going in at 1-1 will obviously give them some hope. Zimbabwe at this stage have been the better team, but the USA have had 1 or 2 good chances, but Bloodworth in the Zimbabwe goal has been up to the task. He's come out of his goals quite quickly and narrowed angles down pretty well. And the USA side just lacks a bit of finesse up front to capitalize of any good possession they do have in the D. And here comes a yellow card for deliberately blocking the stick. So, numerical advantage for Zimbabwe. And here they look to break out. Golding. Well worked back there by Lala from Zimbabwe, who worked back to intercept that ball. And their stick hack comes in. And here comes another, well, it's a green card this time for a deliberate infringement on Hodsa. So, they're down to 9 men. And now they've lost it. Very fortunate that Hamish Michael retains possession for Zimbabwe. But this is the time for Zimbabwe to capitalize with 38 seconds. Can they push forward? USA down to 9 men. They've got the overlap down the right-hand side, but unfortunately the captain Manyama can't gather. If he had gathered that, he would have had a free road into the D. Carlisle pushing up pretty high, putting pressure on the back of Zimbabwe. Played out, another smash, but and as the clock ticks down with 5 seconds left, it's 1-0 to Zimbabwe as we go into half-time. So Zimbabwe 1-0, a controversial penalty flick or converted in the second quarter. So they go into halftime 1-0 up. And USA could be pretty aggrieved with that decision. But it has been, Zimbabwe have been the better team at this stage. So join us after the halftime break for the second half of the USA versus Zimbabwe.
At thehockeysite.com, it's about what happens in the locker room, thinking about the game. It's about planning and preparation, and about training and improving those skills, looking at it from different angles. But of course, it's also about teaching them to score and win. Thehockeysite.com. Share the knowledge.
So welcome back here for the third quarter between Zimbabwe and the United States. Zimbabwe 1-0 up through a penalty corner. A penalty flick. We're going to get proceedings underway. Evans gets it out wide to Carlisle. So, good intent by Zimbabwe. Good fast-paced start. Carlisle having to work hard up front as the right-hand man. Cross just happy to push that ball over the sideline and reorganize the Zimbabwean defense. So United States go aerial again, but the unforced error comes. Zimbabwe will look to build again now, just inside their own half. The USA have had their moments up front, just haven't been able to convert. And they are very deep. So you would think that at 1-0 down, they are more than half court. They've gone right into their own half and would probably be looking to counter-attack through Rodriguez. But he seems to be the lone striker up front. Zimbabwe with the cross. It comes in. It's well played. And it's a goal! Simon Scott Elliott receives the ball and fires it in, gets a little deflection off the keeper, underneath the keeper, and fires in, and 2-0 up. Only a few minutes into the third quarter. That was well worked on the left-hand side. The cross comes in and beautifully taken. So, here we go. Subaya for the USA, who received the ball pretty well and wins a corner for his team. So the umpire finding that the player come in and deliberately played the ball over the baseline. And USA have a chance to hit back now. Just conceded. And they need to get themselves back into this game. So Sean Hendy's at the top of the castle. Injection's not good enough. They've still got possession. Ball comes in, ball's up, and there'll be a reward for USA. Subaya again getting the ball, working it nicely. And the reward comes in. Captain Hindi at the top. The injection needs to be good this time. It's much better. Stop. Step over the top. Flick comes in, and it's a beautiful flick. Well, that was neatly taken. And the USA have struck back. And they strike back from Bumrah with a wonderfully executed flick. He received it with no backlift and just fired into the top corner. Beautifully taken. So 2-1. Much better intent from the USA. Bumrah, the goal scorer, on the ball now. Nicely played again. And here we go. Good counter-attack with support either right and left for the USA. It's played in. Oh, and the first touch is poor. That should have been the second goal for the United States. They broke out very well. That first touch is just awful. And Bloodworth did pretty well to also close down the striker and get his head down. And that might have initiated that poor stop. Sometimes advancing keeping, you just get the striker's eyes up, and then the first trap is just not good enough. But that was well worked. They had support right and left, 3-on-1. And that had goal written all over it. So, the second goal from Zimbabwe has kicked the USA back into action. I was worried that they were dropping down far too deep. But they've been able to hit Zimbabwe on the counter-attack. Hindi out wide. Carlisle with an error there. There we go. And it's a direct hit. And USA are back into it. My word, there was quite a heavy tackle on the USA player. If you're prepared to give a penalty stroke, you should be prepared to give a penalty corner for that. They had no intent on getting the ball there. Flew into that tackle. So, but it's still attacking the possession for the USA. They've won it again. They move into the circle. Little push in the back, and they win the corner for the foot. And USA have made a resurgence in this game. Zimbabwe just need to stick on ball. Technically, they are probably the better team, but they just seem to be giving the ball away too easily. And this game is definitely in the balance. It's all USA now. Since Zimbabwe scored that second goal, they've almost gone to sleep. I mean, we know that Hindi can strike the ball pretty well. Will it go to him? Stopper, Armas at the top. Comes Thames, awkward height. Hindi plays it, zigzag. Rodriguez, and the hit comes in. Well, the umpire says blocking. It looked like a Zimbabwe guy played the USA stick. Another unfortunate decision for the USA. So they went for the zigzag. Nearly paid off. Rodriguez just wasn't able to fire that shot in. USA lose the ball again. Zimbabwe need to show a little bit more intent at the moment. They're just floating around in this quarter after scoring the goal. They just become a little bit too complacent. So they've got to get Hodzer back in the game, which he does. They play down the middle. So wrong side of the stick from the United States. So Zimbabwe will have the ball in the middle of the field, just outside the 23-meter line. Good place to attack. So Rodriguez remains high up with those big counter-attacks from the United States. Hodzer on the ball. Now the count is on, but not gathered by United States. Brown with a good run. Trying hard for those 50-50 balls. Carlisle. Good smash across. Dealt with very well by the United States. They look high. Fleck is on. And here, the 1-2 from Zimbabwe. This is better play from them. Just unable to connect in the final third. Murat on the left-hand side there, just trying to connect and get that overlap down the left to Evans. So Dave Peel there under a bit of pressure, the goalkeeper from Zimbabwe, and has to kick the ball out. And it's a long corner to Zimbabwe. Hodzer on the ball now. Diagonal run, looks to play it in. Good hard tackle from the United States. So it's all to play for now. It's 2-1 to Zimbabwe, but the game in a balance at this stage. And here, Hodzer, powerful drive down the middle, looks for support on the left-hand side. It's fired in! Neil Evans fires it in from close range. Great run from Hodzer down the middle. He saw there was space open. He took the quick hit. Passed it to his left, and Evans just fires it in past Peel. 3-1, Zimbabwe. Well, just when you thought they were going to sleep, they just have injected some life into their side and come back and score a much-needed goal. Free hit to Zimbabwe. 6 minutes out in this third quarter. At one stage, you thought USA were going to pop back and get that equalizer in this quarter. But Zimbabwe have upped the ante now. Good play there from Adam. Retrieves the ball. Ramabai looking for Hodzer, can't find him. And the push comes in on Golding. And now the umpire's calling in the captains. Just the push in the back on Golding, but I think the umpire now wants to speak to, well, he speaks to Neil Evans and Sean Hindi, just saying, just calm things down a bit, guys. So Fleck on the ball now, holds it up pretty well. Much better from him, but a good tackle. Flat stick tackle. Ball goes through the middle, trying to find the high-line striker of Evans. So this is good play from the United States. They're trying to just connect with each other, build up some pressure, build up some momentum. Lovely little skill from Armas. Gets it out wide. De Vries on the ball. The Frisk goes in for the wild swing. So not enough control there in these wide areas. Lindy does well. So Hindi with the big frame at the back there, and he's able to physically impose himself on the Zimbabwean strikers. But it's Evans who's had a really good game. He's making a driving run. Is he going to go himself? No, he passes. Maybe he could have been a little selfish there and driven into the circle and set up the hit for himself, but he does pass. Couldn't find a striker. Brown on the ball now. 3.5 minutes left in this third quarter. Out to Mara. And Hindi just gets a stick on that one, and it goes out for a long corner. Lala on the ball now for Zimbabwe. Mora just trying to find Evans again, the ever-present Evans. So, Zimbabwe advantage from the umpire, and Zimbabwe probe forward, but Brown just not able to connect with Evans, who comes sliding in on the keeper. So Hodser, the maker of the last goal, on the ball now. Lovely control for him. And wins a hit for Zimbabwe. Good control, good awareness at this stage of the game, just to keep possession in the opponent's final third. Just a level-headed player who looks to connect, looks to control, with good vision. So Zimbabwe pressing a lot higher now. And they win the ball. There's a player at the top of the D. That's Evans. He collects. And Hindi just gets in between man and ball very well. Prevents him from getting into a goal-scoring position. So Rodriguez, good turn from him. Tries to find his striker. Keeper comes out well. Flex, open goal. Oh, and it's saved off the line. Well, Fleck had the opportunity to ram that home just before the hooter sounds. And a great stop off the line. And I think it was by Makakoto. Brilliant, brave line work from him as the keeper was stranded outside his goals. We know that Bloodbath likes to come off his line at narrow angles, but he was stranded there, and the shot had come in from Fleck. And wow, great stop. Zimbabwe 3-1 up going into the fourth quarter. And that's got to demoralize the United States. Hodser, lovely pass, lovely deception. The ball comes in, Evans on it, big smash, scores! Picked up on the hooter. It bobbles so nicely for him that he hits it on the volley. And from almost being 3-2 up, they find themselves 4-1 up going into the fourth quarter. Brilliant finish from Neil Evans. So join us after the break for the final quarter, Zimbabwe versus United States.
That waiting for the gun, the nerves are just too much, thinking about what is about to go down.
There goes the horn to start the race.
No, I think it's really amazing. And now the whole setup and people are dressed up.
We're giving something, I think, to the people. It's just fantastic.
The support on the side of the road is second to none, and that gives you the extra oomph.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. The scenery is beyond what I could imagine. I seriously enjoyed it. I met so many wonderful people on the way.
Really enjoying Cape Town. People seem to really appreciate artwork here, which is really nice.
Come and visit Cape Town. We are waiting for you with open arms. We welcome you here. This will remain a city of hope and opportunity for everyone, not just in Cape Town, but around the country and the world.
And he takes the tape.
Cape Town is open, safe, and ready to host you.
Two well-taken field goals and a penalty stroke. Bumrah, the goal scorer for United States of America. A wonderfully taken variation of the penalty corner. So that goal just took the wind out of the USA's sails. There they were, almost making it 3-2 on one end of the pitch. And they find themselves losing possession and conceding at the other end on the hooter. Well played in. Lovely little touch. And well saved. Good pressure on the striker. And Simon Scott Elliott had a lovely little touch there. And it's a long corner. So the keeper did get a shot. Peel did get a touch on that. Rumbabai now, top of the area, plays it wide, beautifully read by the United States. Looks to go high, but finds Rodriguez up high with the aerial ball. Rodriguez finds himself isolated as his strike partners just run away from him. Strike partners run pretty wide, but there's just no release ball from him. Hindi under pressure, wins the hit. So the ball played out wide. And won by the United States. Aramas out. Finds Sabaya, but Sabaya loses it. Ball comes back for the United States. But a speculative pass through there. Your first touch has to be excellent with a ball like that to the top of the area. So United States have resorted to really direct hockey in these areas. And maybe they could have used some width with Sabaya out wide and more build-up play than what they have done. Hindi is a bit better from them. Bumrah plays it in. Sabaya wins the hit. And that's better patience as they play the ball in. They get the foot, but it's adjudged to be high. Carlisle plays it. It's a bobbly ball. It's well dealt with. Hindi on the ball now, looks to play safe, gets it out to Bumrah. Bumrah plays it beautifully into the midfield. Trap isn't good enough. Rodriguez bustling around up front, but he's adjudged to have infringed the defender from Zimbabwe. Sabaya and Rodriguez seem to be the best combinations for the USA. When they are up front, he's done well now to connect. He goes aerial, looking for Rodriguez. Can't get it through. And Zimbabwe come hard back through Adam. Ramabai. Good work back from the United States. And it's Mubai with the ball now. Ball lost again. Ball's bobbling around all over the place at the moment. Someone just needs to put a lid on it and say, right, it's ours, keep possession. Ramabai does that. And it's out to the hat-trick hero, Evans, who loses possession. He's worked hard all day today. Ball down the line. Rodriguez. Connects with his strike partner, Sabai. Now, tricky skills. Gets it, should win. Doesn't win the hit outside. So the number 14, the captain, Manyama from Zimbabwe. A lot of work, good flat tackler. He really shepherded Rodriguez beautifully in that last phase of play. Armas for the USA on the ball. Fired in for the far post, and Sabaya just needed to get in on that. But there's a little touch on that, so they get the long corner. That was a good ball in. And that came from the number 12, Riaz Mohammed. So Captain Hindi out to Bumrah. Bumrah wide. Better play from the USA. Better control. There they win the hit in the wide areas. Still pressure from the United States. Ball has gone 5 meters, so the ball can be played into the area. Bloodworth kicks it out. Ten and a half minutes left in this game. Hindi fires in. The skipper does well from Zimbabwe just to play the ball out wide. But number 6, Mora, just tops that ball slightly. And it's deemed to be dangerous. So good passage of play for United States at this stage. Trying to claw their way back into this game with a little late goal. Rodriguez does well. Turns quite well. But again, umpire seems to think that he was pushing a Zimbabwean player in the process of turning. So little touch on. Mora on the ball. Manyama. Hodza, who's been one of Zimbabwe's best players today. Long ball gets through. Carlisle gets a little touch on. Gets a little touch on that. If that had gone to stick, they would have had Evans high up on the far post. Touch from Fleck. Zimbabwe under some pressure now. Hamish Scott Elliott, sorry. Hamish Michael on the ball there. Does well to get the ball down the sideline. Again, the United States come forward. Bamra, who's had a good game today, working that right-hand side channel all afternoon. Hindi goes aerial route. Sabai comes through and wins a hit. Hindi looks for his strikers up high. There's a touch from Fleck. There's a long corner that comes off a Zimbabwean player. One would have thought if USA hadn't conceded on the Hutu in the third quarter, they may have been in this game. If they'd scored at the other end at 3-2, this would have been a different game in this fourth quarter, because it's been very much USA in possession in the fourth quarter. Ball's played in. Bamra plays at 45. Nice little boy. Fleck just don't connect. That's a lovely ball into the D. If Fleck had connected that, he had a chance to shoot from an acute angle, but also set up a corner or connect with one of his strikers. So, Hamish Michael plays the ball into the midfield. De Vries retrieves. And here's the counter-attack from Zimbabwe. Difficult ball. Mora playing that ball into a dangerous position. So USA regain possession, but Mora cleans up for his past transgression. Lala. Good ball out wide. Brown. Carlisle. In. And the corner is given. Good build-up play, really good build-up play. Played it nicely wide, got it into the area, into a dangerous area, and win the corner. Brown's had a good game today. Hard work rate, him, Evans, and the other standout, Hodza. Fired in, finished. Carlisle, shot, saved. Good save. Oh, on the second bite at the cherry there is missed by Zimbabwe. USA under huge pressure on the left-hand side corner, areas you just don't want to be in as a defender. Played in here. Does Carlisle have another strike? He strikes for the far post. Just hooks it. Evans was waiting on the near post. Smash there, a little deflection would have been another goal to his name. So Bamra goes for the aerial delivery, well picked up by Lala. Hodza always controlled. Carlisle drops back, even keel there from Carlisle. Good steady head. Ball comes in. Two strikers from Zimbabwe on the same ball. No communication there. But good play. Good play by Carlisle as well. Bamra. Little push into the midfield. One again by Rambaya. Both Ramabayas have had excellent games for Zimbabwe as well. Very prominent in the first quarter. There we go again. Good pickup from Vinay Ramabaya. Rodriguez. Bamra. Hindi. Zimbabwe quite happy now just to pick those passes off, keep possession. Obviously for goal difference, they'd love to score a few more. Michael into Hotzer. Always steady. Oh, commentators curse as he loses the ball. Rodriguez shielding the ball, looks to fire in one. Oh, and De Vries just can't get on the end of that one. You needed to come in late on the far post. When the ball comes in from there, you need to come in late on the front stick. He got there a little bit too early, so he just couldn't get the touch. This has been a good half for the USA. They might go back to the changing room and say, well, we lost 4-1, but there were chances in this game for them to come back to it, right into it. And now the counter-attack from Zimbabwe. Sequin on the ball. Through to Rodriguez. He's got a player to his left. He needs to work it, works it himself, slips unfortunately. And now, Zimbabwe come in numbers. Some tired bodies out there. Hindi just mops up, strikes down the line for USA, finds Bamra. No whistle, game goes on, players appealing. So, Christian Apper on the ball for the United States. So, quite a good half for USA, even though Zimbabwe did score. They can take hope from this going into the tournament. There's a couple of technical things they need to sort out, especially up front. Zimbabwe happy now after. And a little touch from De Vries. The ball gets in, and he does get the touch. After just missing that one touch, now he gets the little touch, and it's 4-2. And well deserved. They've had a good fourth quarter. And I'm sure the coaching staff of the USA must be thinking if they'd actually scored, rather than conceding on that hooter, this game could have been a lot tighter than what the scoreboard reflects. So 4-2. 57 seconds left in this game. Carlisle works back. Zimbabwe happy after, as I said earlier, coming off a 7-0 loss to South Africa, and then to beat the USA 4-2 now would be a really good thing. They probably wouldn't have fancied their chances against South Africa, but they would have definitely fancied their chances against the US. So, 30 seconds left. Is there a chance for one more from the United States? It's fired in towards Fleck. And Brown will just be happy to slow things down from there. And Makakoto will just... Or Maskosha goes to the ball, and it's... The hooter sounds. And it's a 4-2 win to Zimbabwe. A valiant effort from the United States, who almost came back into the game, but conceded late in that third quarter. So at the end of the game here in Cape Town, 12th match in Pool B. Zimbabwe 4, United States 2.